Hey all, how's it going? This is Sticks and Wires. My name is Blair Sinta. Today I wanted to show you a cool thing I was sent a while ago, a plugin, and it's called apTrigga by this really cool guy named Chris Ryan. He's been building this thing. And I've turned a couple friends onto it who are using it for live gigs. But I'm going to show you some of these applications for at home. So it's basically a triggering system, a sound replacer system in your DAW, and it's got a couple cool features that I'll show you. I'm not a wizard at it, but I can give you a good idea of how I like to use it and how it can be super useful to enhance some sounds that you need, and it can also like take your feel, of course, because it's triggering from what you've played, and adding some different sounds that maybe are impossible to get acoustically. So let me give you just some kick, snare, hat to see. This is the basic sound, drum sound that we're working from. This is all natural. apTrigga is not on yet, and this is what it sounds like. Okay, there's another. I started to use this crunchy mono mic, so let's check that out with it, just so you know. Okay, so there are the basic sounds, acoustic sounds I'm using. So what you want to do here is, let's say we want to like enhance our kick drum or possibly replace the kick drum sound. What you're going to do is you're going to set a bus from your kick drum track up. I like to put it into pre-fader to monitor the sound separately if I need to. And then you create an auxiliary channel here. I call this kick AP or app. And you pull up apTrigga here. So here is apTrigga. This is what it looks like. There are many layers to it. So what I've done is I've pulled up in this menu right here, I've pulled up the Synth Kick 2. So let's mute all this, and because it's on pre-fader, we're going to hear this kick drum sound soloed. Okay, there's a whole lot of stuff going on here. I'm going to give you some of the basic of what I know. There's a gate here. So there's all kinds of things over here where you can change the sound. You can see the waveform changing there as I change this whole time. Okay, pretty crazy. Of course, you can pull any sample in here that you want. So if you wanted a snare drum where your kick drum is hitting, snare drum sound where your kick drum is hitting, you could do that. You can pull any sample in. So let's go back to the synth kick here, and then if you click on the sound, the name of the sound right here, it takes you into this whole other menu where you have waveform. This shows you the waveform. You could shorten it or make it smaller. Okay, you have gain here, you can make it louder, change the transient. That's more attack. That's kind of cool. Okay. Envelope here, alright. You have different filter layers you can add. This thing is kind of endless. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty astonishing. And then you have modulation here. Let's mess with the modulation a little to check this out. Filter. So you can get, if you need to add subs to your sound right here. Okay, filtering, you can randomize it. Okay, you get the idea. You can. There's so many things to do in here. It's crazy. So that's where I have the kick drum. Let's check out the snare here. This is the sound I put on for the snare. So I'll make a second auxiliary track. Pull up a new apTrigga plugin. Pull off the kick. So for the snare sound, there's a layered. I pulled on a layered floor tom here. So for different dynamic levels. That you're hearing this, it's triggering a different floor tom sound when the snare is being hit, if that makes any sense. So you can hear floor 1, floor 2, floor 3, and if we listen to it, again, go back here and change the gating. Okay, you can go in with this floor tom. You can mess with the modulation. Okay, so you get the idea of what's happening here. This, with all these layers that you can add, all of a sudden you're taking your normal drum track and you're adding layers of different sound. That's just happening. Okay, so third, I have the hi-hat bus to this third auxiliary track with the third apTrigga, and let's check this out. So here's just the hi-hat soloed with the sample sound. And I have it randomized here, so you hear the pitch changing. Okay, so you can make anything out of this hi-hat track. Let's listen to the acoustic hi-hat and the triggered hi-hat together. Okay, that's pretty cool, right? So you have this hi-hat trigger sound, and it's changing kind of melodically. You could literally set up as a melodic thing. So that's what I kind of did here. I took this hi-hat track, I bussed it again to a separate track, and dig this. So let's solo this last track, and I called this bass line. And again, it's set random. I picked this saw synth sound, which is being triggered by the hi-hat, okay? Okay, obviously it's a bit atonal, but you get the idea of what you could do in this to make something really cool. Alright, so now here's the fun part. Let's start unmuting some of our acoustic tracks and see what we can build between these 4 separate sample things happening, and let's just build different grooves, or different like kits, I guess, different sounds out of this. So let's go with kick, snare, and the bass line. Alright, pretty crazy, right? Let's take out our acoustic kick and let's add in our just triggered kick, and then our acoustic snare and our acoustic hi-hat with this bass line thing. Okay, pretty cool, right? Let's add in our snare. Let's take our acoustic snare and add in our triggered snare. Okay, so now I'm keep messing around. Now we're only hearing the triggered sounds, and and then what I'm gonna do is add in this crunchy mono mic, so we get a little kind of natural, funky, messed up, distorted natural, but some of the natural drums in there and then blended with the triggered sounds. Take out this bass line just so we can hear the drum part. Okay, so you get the idea. You can get some super radical things happening, and I'm not even that deep on this thing. Tuning. Let's mess with the hi-hat one more time. The apTrigga hi-hat, and just see what we can get here tuning wise. Okay, so I raised the volume on that. I changed the pitch a little, and let's check. Let's add that in with the triggered sample and triggered kick and snare. Alright, you get the idea. I really love what's happening on this snare trigger with the floor tom sound, because we're getting these, with the layers here, we're getting random different sounds from that. Let's just check that out solid. Right, that's pretty great. And let's add in this crunchy mono mic with that. Okay, so there's kind of a brief tutorial on just the touching on the possibilities of this apTrigga3. Again, it's an amazing app. I use it a lot for adding just simple things like subs to my kicks, or it helps maybe create a loop if you need to with alternate sounds, maybe for the particular section of a song, except it's still you playing and it's still your feel. And you're not worrying about gridding things or MIDI or anything like that. And of course, you would in Pro Tools, and I'm sure many other DAWs, you would just commit these tracks when you get your mix or whatever, and then you've created your own separate sonic sample. And again, you can use any sample you want with these. So pull in your sample library, add them to you, and it's pretty awesome. So check it out, apTrigga3.